You won't know who you are until you accept where you are. Hello, welcome back to Self-Above-Else, previously known as the Talks With S.A.E podcast, a podcast for the woman who dares to grow. I'm Zahra, your host, and this is where we get real about personal growth, self-acceptance, and navigating life's chaos. No sugarcoating, no filtering, no pretending, just raw, honest conversations to help you finally put yourself first. So let me guess, back in January or December of last year, you sat down and planned out 2025. Maybe you planned out your actual full life beyond 2025. But now we're in March and things aren't going as planned, right? You told yourself, okay, I have the vision board, I have the plan, I am doing all these things correctly, I'm doing it as I'm supposed to based on the plan, based on what maybe society has told you, or the people around you who mean well, have advised you. But then it's as if the universe, God, life just flipped the table over and started laughing in your face. Yeah. Yeah. Same. Same. I had a plan, and maybe you did too. Maybe you currently do. You look at your plan, you look at your life, and it's like, why isn't this? What's the problem here? Why aren't they aligning? So I remember one of my biggest goals in life. It still is, but this was so big for me when I was younger, and that was hosting a TED Talk. I really, really wanted to host a TED Talk on self-development, even though I didn't know what self-development really was back then. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm finishing university, and everything that I had planned started ripping at the seams. Everything. And I was so overwhelmed. You're probably overwhelmed as well. I was so exhausted. The emotional roller coaster that comes with it is so cruel, and it's something that what anyone says to you doesn't really help. Even if they've experienced something similar, it still doesn't help. At some point, there's a realization, I have to start over. I have to rebuild. And more than that, how am I supposed to do all of this? How am I supposed to rebuild after that divorce? How am I supposed to start over when I gave all these years to this guy and it ended the way it ended? How am I supposed to rebuild when I worked so hard for that career? I did everything I was supposed to for that job, for that company, and they gave the promotion to someone else again. That promotion was supposed to be my way to a house or my way to a new car, a better life, a new apartment. It was supposed to be my escape. It was supposed to be when my life started. How do I start over? How am I supposed to rebuild? How am I supposed to fix it? Right? How is it that I had all this hope? How is it that I had all these plans and life has jaded me? Life has disappointed me. The plans didn't work. My prayers seem to not have been answered. People around you will tell you, start over, you know, try again. And I'm sure you have either said it to someone or you have been told that, right? So the actual answer is to rebuild and reprogram, but it's to rebuild and reprogram in a way that actually makes sense for where you are right now, not where you thought you'd be, not, where you want to be, but just where you are right now. When you have to rebuild your life, when you have to restart your life, you're coming in to this phase, this restart, this rebuild, this reprogramming with experiences that you've had, right? With moments that you've had, with routines, ideologies, knowledge that you've had. So you're going to come in with everything from the past. Those things that fell apart before, you're bringing them into this. Hence why it's important to, number one, grieve the old plan. When it comes to grief, we often think about grief in the sense of loss, the loss of a loved one, the loss of life. But there's more to grief than just when someone passes away, and it's important to grieve that life that you thought you were going to have, that career that didn't go as planned. It's okay to grieve the relationship that ended, the friendship that ended, the family that was supposed to be family but isn't family, the you that you thought you'd be by now but you aren't. It's okay. Grieve that. Grieve it, because if you don't grieve, you will never be able to move forward. And grieving allows you to face that life. It allows you to face that experience. It allows you to face that breakup, that heartache, that career, that life that should have been, right? It allows you to mourn it. It allows you to be mad about it. It allows you to be sad, to be angry, to feel however it is that you feel, and feel it completely. Don't don't be like, oh, I feel sad, but I shouldn't be feeling sad because everybody else is telling me I shouldn't be feeling sad about this. No, feel sad. Feels If you feel sad, you feel sad. That's part of grieving. If you feel angry, feel angry. If you feel resentful, feel it. Feel whatever it is you're feeling, and then learn to let it go. And letting it go looks different for different people. The number one thing I recommend when it comes to grieving and letting something like this go, because I've been in this place many times, is writing a letter to that life, writing a letter to that you, writing a letter to that relationship, writing a letter to that career, to that you that would have been in that career. Write that letter and then get rid of it, burn it, burn the letter. Then you accept where you are. It's so important to accept where you are and to actually look at yourself and be like, you know what? Yeah, this is my life right now. This is who I am right now. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't like my life right now. I don't like who I am right now. I don't enjoy this. This is hard for me. But the thing is, the sooner you stop fighting it, the sooner you stop denying it, the sooner you stop trying to ignore it, the sooner you stop fighting reality, the sooner you can actually make the reality and build the reality that you truly, truly want. So many times it takes us hindsight, it takes us retrospection, it takes us looking back at life to realize, oh my God, I should have been more accepting of me. I should have been more present. I should have enjoyed that phase of my life. So accept where you are right now and find some kind of good in it. You have to accept where you are. You have to accept where you are. You don't have to like it. You can completely hate it, but you're going to have to accept it. You're going to have to actually look at yourself, actually face yourself, because until you can do that, life will continue laughing in your face if you don't face yourself. I promise you. I promise you that's what's going to happen. The third thing is reframing what rebuilding means to you, reframing what starting over means to you. You were in a really serious relationship for a very long time and it ended. Doesn't mean that it ended badly, but it ended. And that person, when we're in relationships like that, that person is literally integral to your way of life. They're integral to who you are as a person. And so when that ends, you lose yourself. Genuinely, you lose yourself. And you do have to start over in that sense. You have to start dating again at some point, right? You have to maybe move out, maybe get another place. You have to ask yourself at that point, what does starting over mean to me right now with who I am in this moment, after this breakup, after this divorce? What does starting over mean for me? Not what does it mean for other people, not what does it typically mean for divorcees, or what does it mean to start over after a breakup? No, no, no. What does it mean for you and only you? Because yes, it's helpful to read and reference, other people's experiences and things like that. But at the same time, you know you best, right? You know you best. The fourth thing kind of it touches on everything I've mentioned already. And that is when you are building or rebuilding again, reprogramming again, do so for who you are right now, not for the you that was supposed to have that marriage, that relationship, that guy, that girl, be doing this and have this by now. Not for her. Not for her. She's gone. You won't know who you are until you accept where you are. Beyond that, I just want to share the things that have helped me and the things that I've been doing and have been implementing to rebuild my own life. The first thing is burning the old plan. Like literally, get a piece of paper, write down exactly how you thought your life was supposed to be in this very moment. What was your ideal day supposed to look like? What was your ideal vacation supposed to look like? Whatever it is, write it down. Seriously, I know you probably want to be like, "Ooh, let me just do a voice note." Voice notes don't hit the same. Voice notes don't hit the same because when you're writing on that paper, you're going to let that anger out. You're going to let that resentment out. You're going to let that sadness out. Write it out and then destroy it. If destroying it means you want to burn it, burn it. If destroying it means you want to cut it up into little pieces and just do it. If destroying it means you want to crumble up that piece of paper and just like Kobe it, do it. Find a way to let that version go. Literally let that version go. Number 2, identify the one thing that still feels like you. Something that still feels certain. Whether that is a skill you have, whether it's a dream that you've had for a very long time. Once you figure out what that one thing that still feels like you is, that's your starting point. Because that starting point, it'll be like your North Star. It'll be that thing where you come back to it and it guides you. Number 4 is take that first step, but make it small, like really small, so that you can't fail at it. You've been planning and God has been laughing all this time. You've been planning and everything just has gone downhill. You've been planning and life has been laughing at you. But now take that first step. One itty bitty single move forward is all it takes. Think about babies. Like babies, they don't just get up and start walking. They sit up straight. I think first they like lay on their belly and then they sit up straight and then they crawl and then they learn to stand and then they start walking. That moment with babies where it's like in between walking and running, it's like, so it's all those little things. It adds up. And that actually brings me to something I want to implement this season, which is giving you a couple of challenges. For the next 7 days, I want you to do this. Every time you feel yourself slipping into self-doubt or burnout or avoidance of that step that you need to take to rebuild your life, to reprogram yourself, stop, and ask yourself, who am I proving this to? And be sure to let me know in the comments of this episode, or you can even DM me on Instagram at selfaboveelse to let me know how it's going and how you're doing. I know this isn't the life that you wanted. I know this isn't the woman that you thought you'd be. I know it hurts and I know it's frustrating and I know you are going through like emotion after emotion after emotion. All of those emotions are valid, by the way. But I also know that you're still here. And I know that the fact that you are tuning into this episode, it means that you're still standing. It means that there's hope. It means that there's still a chance for you. That is so incredibly important for you to know and for you to understand that there is still a chance for you. Even when the world says that there isn't, even when everything around you, whether it's the people, whether it's the way life is playing out, even when it's all saying no, there's not a chance, there's still a chance for you. There is. And you have to believe that. You have to believe it to your core. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in, but more importantly, thank you for existing. If you enjoyed this episode, if it resonated with you, if you have any thoughts on it, let me know. By the way, if you want more, every week I write personal, deep letters to my future self that you can read and relate to. Just check out my email newsletter, which I'll have linked in the show notes and a YouTube description box. Until next time, self above else.